Whoa. Blinding sun. Willem Reimann was a clergyman, public figure and historian. And up here we have another monument. Got to watch your step. Of course I chose to come up the awkward way, didn't I? This fella's called Christian Jaak Pettersson, and he didn't live very long. Only about 21 years by the look of him. I think he's famous for walking from Riga to Tartu on more than one occasion. Maybe that's what killed him. Don't know. Let's check out the real history over here. Yeah, only 21 years old, an Estonian poet. Born in Riga and studied at the University of Tartu. The fact that he walked from Tartu to Riga is generally known. He considered himself the poet of the Estonian peasantry, valued the national characteristics of literature and believed in the possibility of creating the original Estonian national literature. But how did he die? Another job for Wikipedia. How did Christian Jaak Pettersson die? The Napoleonic Wars were over, but of course you could die of toothache or absolutely anything, couldn't you, back then? There he is. And if we go back this way, we run the risk of intruding on lovers because we're about to approach, I think, from some angle or other. Oops, my battery's running low. I'll keep filming until it actually runs out. That's a cute little sausage. So this is where people have given up on the kissing, they just bring their cute dogs. I can't blame them, really. Whoa. I was thinking to myself, oh, Kissing Hill is not very steep, it's not much of a hill, but actually from this side of things, get a different impression entirely. Oh, I better be careful with my vertigo. I'll just extend my arm out and look away. Looks like quite a drop down there. You wouldn't want to take the risk on the Kissing Hill, would you? Just in case she decided to dump you for somebody else and she said, "Close your eyes, darling, I want to kiss you passionately." And you think your luck's in, you close your eyes, pucker up, before you know it, go, thump, you're falling to your death from the Kissing Hill. Not quite such a big drop from there, but you could still break a limb or two. So I suppose this is what they call the Kissing Hill. But nothing worth going up there for, and I don't really want to disturb any lovers passionately exchanging vows and all sorts of things that lovers do, don't they? Don't they? That's what I heard anyway. Maybe they don't these days. and very close to the rather underwhelming Kissing Hill. Couldn't even be bothered to put a statue there. I don't know. Yeah, we've got the remains of this badly destroyed, much destroyed I should say, church building. I've seen pictures of it and it looks pretty cool. But of course people can do all sorts of pictures, can't they? What's it like for real? Would you believe it? I've been in, taken all the copper pipes, and they've even taken the slate tiles off the roof. Blimey. That's what happens when you go away to Ibiza for the weekend. Never again. This is going to cost me a fortune to put right. Presumably it was a matter of cost that came into question when somebody or other was looking at the finances and decided, yeah, no, can't afford to put all the damage right. Can't set this right after all that's been destroyed. Too much has been lost and it would cost an arm and a leg and maybe a shoulder blade and both kidneys to put everything back just the way it used to be. It's fantastic that it largely stood for so long as this skeleton, don't you think? I'm thinking it anyway. Nice and atmospheric, and I'm thinking Byron would have had a field day here. Well, he had a field day wherever he went, didn't he? And warmer in Italy, so he'd probably prefer going there for a little European outing. But I'm thinking the romantic in Byron could have been inspired to write quite dramatic poetry here. Yeah, I'm probably in danger of filming way too much of this because it's just sort of fascinating when you look at it as I'm looking. I'm waving the camera around like a little wand without actually looking at the back of the camera so much. I'm taking it in with my eyes, which is what we should always do, isn't it? You can look back at the pictures anytime, but it's a poor second to actually seeing the place with your eyes, and I would recommend you coming and seeing every single one of these places I film with your own eyes, because however, I was going to say however good, I shouldn't brag, should I? I can hardly brag with my lack of skills behind the camera, but however interesting a place might appear, it really is brought to life quite dramatically more if you visit in person. And I suppose this takes us back to that idea I arrived in Tartu with, I mentioned how people were telling me about how Tartu didn't necessarily have specific things which stood out that made it memorable, which visitors would have on their must-see and do list. However, there was an intangible atmosphere. And if you're going to feel an atmosphere anywhere, I think it must be in the ruins of a skeletal building which used to be a cathedral. And if only I could get it all in the shot. And of course, I'm not going to be able to do that. Not from any angle. I'm sure somebody with a drone has taken far more impressive footage than I can create with my little camera. But while I envy birds and the operators of the drones, the pilots of the drones, I'm seeing what I'm seeing with my naked eye, and yeah, that makes it all worthwhile. And compared that to drone footage on a laptop, yeah, that would probably be more impressive, I imagine. I've got to concede that, but there's something, that word intangible again, something intangible about seeing something with your own eye. And I think we'd all agree on that point. It touches you in a different way. And where to go after this? Well, a few more statues, sculptures, perhaps. There's the latest one down there, which happened to pop up in my Tartu in your pocket guidebook. Didn't look that impressive to my eyes, but again, that was just a picture in a book. Let's see it up close and personal in real time, shall we? So I had been wondering how long it would take me to walk from place to place around this raised hilly area above the old town of Tartu, excuse me. But yeah, everything is just so close. I'm still glad I've allowed myself sufficient amount of hours in Tartu. Last thing I want to do is rush, but it is all very close, I'm happy to report. So if you are a bit short for time, don't be put off thinking you can't do Tartu justice. I think as long as you're not overly ambitious, of course, you really can walk through the old town area, what's left of it, and up onto this raised area above the river. The river's pretty close as well, and enjoy the atmosphere and enjoy the greenery. If you can fit in time for that botanical garden, that for me is the highlight, actually, I think. Went in there expecting little and saw a lot of super flowers. Haven't been in a botanical garden for a few years. Perhaps that's why I enjoyed that one so much. It's been about 3 years, I think. since my last botanical garden experience. And here, more nice flowers growing. Next to this latest monument to the Swede Johann, oh, I'm going to mess up this pronunciation, aren't I? Johann Skytte. I just made that bit up. Skytte. Don't know how he pronounced his name. I think the Johann's nailed on, but yeah, that last name, not sure at all. But he's the man credited with being responsible for bringing Tartu University to the city. And yeah, it's a nice big monument, and it's got this nice bit next to it, hasn't it? A seal on his notoriety, his fame, I should say, his place in history in a seal. Now I'm getting a bit all flowery and poncy about that. My God. Absolute herd of cyclists. I think they must be the same people I saw earlier down by the riverside when I was questing to find the bronze pig. What is going on? If it's a race, this is the most uncompetitive race I've ever seen. But I don't think it is a race. Just a huge amount of cycling fans, enthusiasts out for fun. Why not? The day's turned into a beauty after a great start, and obviously quite a bit of rain in Tartu. Luckily we missed that bit. And now I think the obvious thing for me to do is go looking for, which one shall I look for first? The Devil's Bridge or the Angel's Bridge? Oh, I've got to go and look for the Devil's Bridge, I think. Or should I? Go on, you know you want to. All right, then I think I will. Let's see if I can pick it out on this map. Devil's Bridge, Cathedral Ruins, Johann Skytte's statue. So I'm guessing the Devil's Bridge is somewhere behind that building. Let's go look. There's something funny sticking out of this wall. What's going on here? This was the location of the University of Tartu Hospital. Oh, I see, they're slicing a body open. Right. Nice bit of graphic imagery. And I know things are pretty close together in Tartu, but this is ridiculous. And this must be, it says Rigi Kohus. So I'm thinking this must be the Tartu City Council building, if not the University Council building. I think it's the City Council building, but I could be wrong. And the town hall's down in the old town on the flat bit, isn't it, near Rakoya Platz? So, okay, I pass. I'll turn my attention to the Devil's Bridge. 1613 to 1913. And I haven't a clue about the relevance of those dates. Should I make something up to sound impressive? But then you end up having to correct yourself even before you've finished telling the whole story. Yeah, that's true. So what is the story? I think it's something to do with the fact that there was some guy with a German name, Manteuffel, who was responsible for overseeing works going on up here. And as a result, somehow the devil, being a translation into English of the Teufel part of his surname, just sort of stuck, and it sounded cool. I wish they'd do something to make it look more devilish though, because then it would be really cool. Got something interesting going on there. It might be something a little devilish. But the thing is, which one is the devil? The man who looks like a cricketer. Is he a cricketer? Oh no, he's supposed to be a policeman. Okay. I thought he had a cricket bat in his hand. The Estonian policeman arresting the little man of the forest who's got marijuana all over him. Well, don't do the crime if you don't want to do the time. That's the bottom line, surely. Who needs the aggravation and attention of a policeman? I know I don't. At that point, I should feel a strong hand on my shoulder, shouldn't I? And get arrested and carted off. But no, that's not going to happen. I hope it's not going to happen. So, that's a nice little piece of street art, despite the silly sentiment behind it. And we found the Devil's Bridge. Now, just around the other corner will be the accompanying Angel's Bridge then. Wouldn't it be funny if I couldn't find the Angel's Bridge when it looks to be about 20 metres around the corner to the right here? That would be a slap in my face, but I'm sure it's going to be there. And apparently the Angel's Bridge name, dun, 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 there's the Angel's Bridge. The Angel Bridge, which again looks nothing as special as it ought to, does it? I don't think. Or maybe I'm just getting all too romantic this afternoon with mention of kissing statues and kissing hills and mass kissings to celebrate Tartu being the capital of European culture in 2024. I don't know what's got into me. But anyway, yeah, apparently this name of the Angel's Bridge came about because I'm sure there's more than one thought on this, but what I read was it's generally accepted that what happened was there was an English garden, an English style garden on the hill, and the word for English in the Estonian language is very similar to the word for angel in the Estonian language. And so, yeah, that's how that one became the Angel's Bridge. It's all much about nothing, isn't it? Really? Really? Yeah. They could have huge wings at either end of the bridge, and I don't know, the figure of the devil at one end of the bridge on the Devil's Bridge, warning you not to cross. However, it is considered good luck if you hold your breath before crossing the Angel's Bridge, I think. Or is it before you cross the Devil's Bridge? I'd do both. In fact, why not kiss while you're doing it, and then you won't be breathing, you're kissing, but then walking, which might be tricky. But yeah, kiss the back of your hand, openly and with passion, but not with breathing, until you get to the end of the other side of the bridge, and yeah, then you'll be granted good luck. Right, tick. The bridges are done, and far more easily than I expected. Got a few more places to see. One's called the Gunpowder Cellar. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? But I'm not sure, as it's a cellar, whether there's much to see. What to do about that? Okay, well, there is only one thing to do about it. Go and take a look, you fool. And that's exactly what I plan to do. I will go up here and see if there's some street art, or maybe some little statues of angels that somebody's put up somewhere. Just because, well, why not? But now I won't be holding my breath, kissing the back of my hand passionately while I cross that bridge, because I'm going in this direction. And yes, sadly, no angel imagery at all, and no devil imagery at the other one. So we have to do without.